Hey there, food lovers! Are you ready to bake the most amazing dessert ever? We created the most fantastic chocolate turtle cheesecake ever. Image a rich cheesecake with a crunchy pecan crust, gooey caramel, and a touch of sea salt. What's not to love? So grab your ingredients and let's get baking. Let's kick things off with an exciting ingredient roundup. This is the starting point of our mouth-watering cheesecake, so let's gather everything you'll need and prepare for some culinary magic. Take a moment to dive into your pantry and fridge. Ensure you have all those essential goodies. It's way better to check now than to find yourself midway through the recipe missing a key ingredient. Trust us, this will be delicious. Let's get started. Don't worry, this is a no-fuss zone, just good old-fashioned ingredients for a genuinely unforgettable cheesecake. Here's what you'll need. For the crust is the base of our cheesecake, and it's essential to get it just right. We're going for a classic graham cracker crust with a twist. 1.5 cups graham cracker crumbs. These crumbs will give our crust that perfect crunchy texture. You can buy pre-made crumbs or crush your graham crackers at home. 1/2 cup of finely chopped pecans. The pecans add a delightful nutty flavor and a bit of extra crunch to our crust. Make sure they're finely chopped so they mix well with the crumbs. 6 tablespoons unsalted butter melted. The butter will bind our crust together, giving it a rich, buttery flavor. 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. The sugar adds a touch of sweetness to balance the flavors. For the cheesecake filling, use 3 8-ounce packages of softened cream cheese. Cream cheese is the star of our cheesecake, providing that creamy, tangy base. Make sure it's softened to room temperature for easy mixing. 1 3/4 cups granulated sugar. The sugar sweetens our filling and helps to create a smooth, velvety texture. 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. The flour helps stabilize the filling and gives it some structure. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. The vanilla adds a lovely depth of flavor to our cheesecake. 4 large eggs. The eggs help to bind the filling and give it a rich, custardy texture. For the chocolate turtle topping, 1 cup of heavy cream. The heavy cream will make our chocolate topping extra smooth and creamy. 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. The chocolate chips will melt into a luscious, rich topping for our cheesecake. 1/2 cup of caramel sauce. The caramel sauce adds a sweet, buttery layer to our topping. 1/4 cup of chopped pecans. The pecans add a bit of crunch and a nutty flavor to our topping. Sea salt for sprinkling. A sprinkle of sea salt will enhance all the flavors and add a bit of contrast to the sweetness. Got everything? Great! Now, let's move on to the fun part. With all our ingredients gathered, we're ready to start creating our masterpiece. Baking a cheesecake is a labor of love, but with these essentials, you're well on your way to a dessert that's sure to impress. So roll up your sleeves, preheat your oven, and let's get baking. Every amazing cheesecake needs a sturdy foundation, and that's where our journey begins today. The crust is the unsung hero of any cheesecake, providing the perfect crunchy contrast to the creamy filling. Without a solid base, even the most delicious cheesecake can fall apart. So, let's create the ideal pecan graham cracker crust that will elevate your cheesecake to the next level. Our pecan graham cracker crust is not just any crust. It's a blend of rich, nutty flavors and a delightful crunch that complements the smoothness of the cheesecake. The pecans add a unique twist, making this crust stand out from the traditional graham cracker base. Imagine the buttery, slightly sweet taste of graham crackers combined with the earthy, robust flavor of pecans. It's a match made in dessert heaven. First things first, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This step is crucial because an adequately preheated oven ensures that our crust bakes evenly, giving it that perfect golden brown color and crisp texture. While the oven is heating up, we can start preparing our crust mixture. In a medium bowl, combine 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs, 1/2 cup of finely chopped pecans, 1/3 cup of melted butter, and 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. These ingredients come together to form the base of our crust. The melted butter binds the crumbs and pecans, while the sugar adds a touch of sweetness that balances the flavors. Mix it all up until it resembles wet sand. This texture is key because it ensures the crust will hold together without being too dense. You want the mixture to be moist enough to stick together when pressed, but not so wet that it becomes soggy. Take time with this step, ensuring every crumb is coated with butter. Press this mixture into the bottom of a 9-inch spring-form pan. Use the back of a spoon or the bottom of a measuring cup to press it down firmly and evenly. This helps to create a compact crust that won't crumble when you cut into your cheesecake. Pay special attention to the edges, making sure they are well pressed and even. Make sure it's nice and even. An even crust ensures that every bite of your cheesecake has the perfect balance of crust and filling. Take a moment to smooth out any uneven spots and press down any loose crumbs. This attention to detail will pay off when you see the final product. We want a sturdy base for all that creamy cheesecake goodness. A well-made crust not only supports the filling but also adds a delightful crunch that contrasts beautifully with the smooth, creamy texture of the cheesecake. The foundation holds everything together, so it's worth taking the time to get it just right. Bake for 10 minutes, then set it aside to cool while we whip up the star of the show, the filling. Baking the crust helps to set it, giving it a firm texture that will hold up under the weight of the filling. Once it's out of the oven, let it cool completely before adding the filling. This step is crucial because a hot crust can cause the filling to melt and become runny. Now for the good stuff. In a large bowl, beat the softened cream cheese and sugar until smooth and fluffy. No lumps allowed. Add the flour and vanilla extract, beating until just combined. Next, beat in the eggs one at a time, mixing until just incorporated. Don't overmix. Pour this dreamy batter over the cooled crust. Now we're ready to bake. It's baking time. Hello cheesecake, goodbye Jiggle. Get ready for the thrilling finale of your cheesecake journey. This is where all your effort culminates, and you'll witness your delicious masterpiece come to life. Let the excitement begin as we dive into the final steps of crafting the ultimate cheesecake. First, pop that cheesecake pan into a larger baking pan. This step is crucial for the next part of our process. We will create a water bath to ensure a smooth, creamy cheesecake. The water bath helps to regulate the temperature and provides a moist environment, which is key to preventing cracks on the surface of your cheesecake. Carefully pour hot water into the larger pan, coming about halfway up the sides of the springform pan. Be cautious here. You don't want water splashed into your cheesecake batter. The water should be hot but not boiling, just enough to create a gentle steam. Now it's time to bake. Place your cheesecake in the oven and set your timer for 50 to 60 minutes. Keep an eye on it. You want the cheesecake slightly jiggly in the center. This jiggle signifies that your cheesecake is perfectly cooked and will set beautifully as it cools. The edges should be set and firm, while the center remains wobbly. This texture contrast is what makes a cheesecake so delightful. Turn off the oven once the baking time is up, but don't take the cheesecake out yet. Let it hang out in the oven for another hour, with the door slightly ajar. This gradual cooling process helps to prevent the cheesecake from cracking and ensures a smooth, even texture. The slow cooling allows the cheesecake to set correctly, without any sudden temperature changes that could cause it to crack. After an hour, your cheesecake is ready to leave the oven. It should look perfect, with a smooth top and no cracks. Let it cool completely at room temperature before 4 hours, preferably overnight. This chilling time allows the flavors to meld together and the texture to firm up, giving you that classic creamy cheesecake experience. When you're ready to serve, slice your cheesecake with a sharp knife, wiping the blade clean between each cut for the neatest slices. Enjoy your homemade cheesecake. Savor every bite of that creamy, dreamy goodness. Hello, cheesecake. Goodbye, Jiggle. It's time to pause and cool down because patience is the secret ingredient. Once the cheesecake has had its sauna time, take it out of the oven and water bath. Let it cool completely on a wire rack. This is important. We don't want a melty mess when we add our toppings. Once it's cooled, cover it tightly with plastic wrap and refrigerate for at least 4 hours or even better, overnight. This lets all those fantastic flavors meld together. Get ready for the exhilarating chocolate turtle transformation. Now for the fun part, the chocolate turtle magic. In a saucepan, heat the heavy cream over medium heat. Remove it from the heat once it's hot, but not boiling, and stir in the delicious chocolate chips until melted and smooth. Pour this decadent chocolate ganache over the chilled cheesecake, spreading it evenly. Drizzle with caramel sauce, sprinkle those chopped pecans, and finish with a touch of sea salt. Oh my goodness! Get ready to dazzle with your incredible cheesecake creation. Slice into that beauty and get ready for pure cheesecake bliss. Each bite is a symphony of flavors and textures. The creamy cheesecake, the crunchy pecans, the gooey caramel, that touch of salt. It's pure perfection. This cheesecake is seriously a showstopper. It's the kind of dessert that disappears in seconds. Dive into the delightful cheesecake world by joining our amazing cheesecake community. Don't miss out on the fun and flavor. Be a part of the sweetness. We know you are going to love this recipe. It's pure cheesecake heaven. Make sure to share pictures of your chocolate turtle cheesecake creations on social media and tag us. You can even share in the comments below. We can't wait to see them. And hey, while you're at it, hit that like button if you enjoyed this recipe. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring that notification bell for more delicious recipes coming your way. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Happy baking!